Alright guys, day 2 of the 65 fastback conversion. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Me and Ellie got a late start. And we've got our bellies full. Time to get down to the shop and get back to work. Day 2 of the 65 fastback build. Alright guys, so as you can see, I took the screws out and I pulled my deck filler panel off. And I've just laid that down in the trunk, and I'm going to show you something that'll help you get this into place. You just set it loosely into place, and then you reinstall your filler panel, and then you can fine tune where this sets. But right off the bat, you need to go ahead and take you some pliers and just bend this over just a little bit, just so that you have clearance for this to slide, because this will hinder you from getting this in here and setting in here properly. On both sides, do it on both sides. Just bend that over just a little bit, and then just kind of loosely stick it up in place up under your quarter panels, and then put your filler panel on. It's hard to get all the panels and under the other panels like they're supposed to be. I'm going through all this trouble and headache just because I want to show you how to do this and leave this package tray in. Just for now, we're going to take it out eventually. Showing y'all both ways to do this. Wish I had Wesley here to help me hold this up here. Really, you need somebody to kind of hold this right here while you get this into place, because it's just going to keep falling. We're getting somewhere now. Right. Over the other side, Ellie. See that little, there's still a piece of the brace that used to go up to support the old coupe trunk hinges. It's still there. I didn't take it off yet. But this is kind of what it looks like when you put this panel in. As you can see, I'm up against the floor on that side. And I got a gap under here on this side. So I'm going to do measuring and just check and see. And I'm pretty sure this side over here has got to come down, because these wheel tubs has got a factory little indentation right there, and this has got a little indentation stamp in it, and these two actually fit into each other relatively well on these cars. So that tells me, because this side over here is fitting in it really good. You see that? You want to make darn sure that this leading edge right here flows exactly into this edge here. You do not want to misalign this one. So there's two edges right here. So you have this inside line, body line, then you have this outside one. Same here. One here, one here. Trust me, you do not want to misalign these two body lines. It will be your worst nightmare if you move. Like if you have this panel shifted over too far and then you weld it, and then you try to body work it, you'll have to body work it from here all the way down into here, just to try to make this line carry on straight and flow the correct way. So this right here, this moment right here is crucial. Make sure that these two line up good. On a factory fastback, on a 65, the quarter is under the roof skin. The way they've got these right here stamped, they foobarred it. They've got the same exact recess in the roof skin as they do in the quarter panels. So it doesn't matter how you lay these, one's always going to be higher than the other. There's just no way around it. You could actually go in here and split this and then lay this in and then re-weld it up. Or you can do like I do. I just take me a little old punch and I'll punch it right here on this edge, shrink the metal. That's going to draw the metal up and shrink it. And then when you do your filler work, all this will flow good together. So right now, this quarter panel's not laying, the roof panel's not laying on this panel the way I like it to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to trim out a lot of this excess metal to try to get it to fit inside the recess that's on this. I don't know how successful I'm going to be because look here. Look how long the inner panel is. The quarter panel. I mean, it's basically just laying right over the top of it. You kind of just got to do the best you can do right here and then just move on to something else because you're never going to get this exactly perfect the way you like it without a lot of work. Just don't stress too much right there on the 65 because even from the factory on a 65, that area right there was never perfect. I mean, it was awful right there. Same goes right here. See this line right here? And this line right here? Make sure that this one and this one right here lines up perfect. Not so much this one and this one, the inside, because you can body work that, and then your trim. Because you're going to have to put your trim up there and body work your trim to the car anyway. But just make sure that this line and this line lines up good because you don't want to be working against yourself with this. You know, if you body work it, you're liable to have a high right here and then a low right here, and you'll have to do a big old spot of body work just to try to make the two look halfway decent. So as long as you make this line and this line right here line up good from the beginning, you should be good to go. Alright, so this is how much I'm choosing to take off the silver part. I'm just going to trim off just enough where I've got a little more adjustment on this panel. And then I'm actually going to cut this black panel. I'm going to cut it even with this so the two will butt together. And that's actually how the factory was too. I took one apart here a while back. And actually this panel and this panel was butted up and it had they had brazed it right here. Brazed the two panels together. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And also, on the original 65, they had their spot welds like I'm used to. And they actually come in here and brazed it. I guess to help keep this panel from raising up and breaking the lead out. Same way down here. They had brazed it on a factory car. So I'm going to weld all this up solid anyway so it never gives any trouble. But I thought that was pretty cool. Alright guys, so I've started getting into the nitty gritty of this thing. This is where it matters. These steps right here really matter. As far as making just some kind of inner structure, just to tie that panel and this panel to the roof brace, that's easy stuff. That stuff really it's not that crucial. But right here, making all these panels fit nice and flat and line up, make these two panels line up with each other, that's crucial. I'm actually going to have to do a little more work right here because if you look, this line and this line, they're not lined up exactly. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to slice it right here. Put me a little slice from here to here. And then I'm going to move this. I'm going to stretch this and pull this way just a little bit. And the way you do that is with like an awl. You'll drill like an offset hole. You'll drill like a hole here, then a hole here, then stick the awl. You know, your pointy steel point. I call it an awl. It's just a kind of like a screwdriver. It's sharpened on one end, like to a point. You stick it through this hole and the next hole, and then you kind of pull it over, and that'll pull this panel over, and then clamp it, stick your screw in it, and then the two panels will line up again. I hope I'm not confusing y'all with the way I'm explaining things. I'm country. I can't help it. I don't talk like the guys on Power Nation or Power Block or Stacy, David, or all them big shots. I'm country, fellers. I eat cornbread and brown beans. But this is very, very crucial. So I trimmed off, as you can see what I trimmed off. Now that I got it trimmed, this lays exactly in this little pocket nicely. I could actually probably trim off a little more. But now that it's setting in there, all this is, once this is body work, there won't be no highs. I could come in here with some reinforced fiberglass filler. You grind this right here down real good to bare metal. And you can spray direct to metal epoxy or primer on it first and scuff that up and then put your fiberglass filler on it. I don't do that. I'll grind this down to metal and I'll put that fiberglass, I call it, it's Duraglass, I think. Or you can get Evercoat kitty hair, a short strand glass, and you could fill this right here up. It won't never give no trouble as long as you weld this seam right here up solid. But don't just go in here and just start welding it solid without stopping. When I say weld it solid, I mean put like a half-inch weld, and then stop, and then do one here, then stop, and then do one here, then stop, and then come back here, and then just keep working your way into the front, and then you'll eventually have a continuous weld without warping all this up. So right here you see that I cut this black panel off right here, and then you got your silver panel, and now the two is just, they're just even with each other. Now all I gotta do is just weld this up. I accidentally nicked my drip rail. That's upsetting, but oh well. I'll weld it up and grind her down. But anyway, all this is now to where it flows and there's no highs. So that's great. I've got this in here just to kind of hold this up into the right shape. The next crucial thing is when you get these 65 drip rails up here in this front area, it's real super wide. And the way a 65 is made, it doesn't flush up right here. Like on a 67-8, this is flush all the way across. On a 64 through 66, this part right here, it's made a little different. It starts out kind of wide, and then it tapers and narrows out. It's kind of flush back there, and then up here, it's kind of got like it dips down just a little bit. It's kind of funny. I never liked that about them. But a lot of times, the manufacturers, when they stamp this, they've got this right here out too wide. So what I normally do is I'll put a couple screws in my drip rail. I'll start like right here and then go back and put some screws in it. I'll take my clamp off my roof skin, and then what I'll do is I'll take a rubber mount and I'll just start hammering the drip rail that way. And as you're hammering it that way, it's going to force that metal up against this. It's going to force it to kind of flatten out and go upwards. And that's going to make this distance narrower. You're not messing up the drip rail. All you're doing is just making this distance skinnier. You have to do that, because if you don't do that, you'll have a great old big gap right here. I mean, it'll be like an inch wide right here. It's already too wide right now. You can see that, the gap. It's good back here. We ain't got no big wide gaps, just like a fingertip wide. We'll get up here towards the front. It starts getting kind of wide. And I'm going to show y'all how to fix that here in just about a minute. Okay guys, I cannot get the camera any closer to what we're working on. I'm just going to have to try to explain it the best I can. This is going to look and kind of sound kind of silly. So in order to get this roof to pull over closer to this drip rail, if you just simply clamp this, what's going to happen is the roof's going to go that way, and the drip rail is going to stay, and you're going to have an even much wider gap. So what you got to do is figure out where it's the widest at, which is right here. I usually just use a self-tapping screw. You can use a drill bit. I use these because they got an 1/8" drill bit on the end of them anyway. So I'm going to drill me a hole right here just like this with my screw. Alright, there's our first hole. And then we're going to drill another hole on the bottom, but what we're going to do is we're going to shift this hole over. We've got about 1/8 of an inch gap right here that we need to close up. So what we need to do is we need to scoot this bottom hole that we drill over. We need to scoot it over 1/8 of an inch. So drill your hole. 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 Dri We're going to line this up by eyeball, about 1/8 of an inch over. And we're going to drill us a hole. Alright, can y'all see that? I hope you can. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay the drill and the screw over, and we're going to shoot for that top hole. Did y'all see that? Probably not. So the screw is sideways. You see how it's leaning? It's diagonal. Now when I tighten that screw up, it's going to pull that roof skin and that drip rail together and close the gap up. Hopefully y'all can watch it do it on camera. I don't know. I tell you what, I'll take y'all off the tripod. And just show y'all what happens. You see this gap? I tried to explain this to that, I think his name's Anthony. He's got a YouTube channel where he's building a Mustang. I was trying to explain to him how to do this. I can't pronounce his last name. Amano or something like that. He's building a coupe to fastback right now. It started out red. But anyway, see that gap? Watch the gap close up. Ready? Did y'all see the gap go away? Before there was an 1/8 of an inch gap right here where the screw was in here. The gap is gone. Now this is nice all the way down. It looks like the drip rail's got a little bent spot in it right here. That's no problem. Take your rubber mallet. Straighten it right out. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's just that simple, guys. Factory fastbacks did not have big wide gaps on their drip rails. So, since the rest of this is nice, all I'm going to do is just start at the top and just screw straight down from the bottom. And then I'm going to take the screw out, and then I'm going to actually put the screw on the bottom and then tighten it up. Because that screw head will not fit in here. It'll be cockeyed and messing up your metal. So, drill you a hole and then put your screw in from the bottom. Just close up your gap. Alright guys, so we've come to the point to where I think it'd be easier to just go ahead and make this pocket that's going to go on the back side of this quarter. Just go ahead and make it now and get it kind of set in here, and then worry about making our panel that's going to go in behind this entire length of this. So let's just go ahead and get that made. And the way that we're going to make this, it's pretty easy. All you do is you just lay a piece of paper up here, larger than this hole. It needs to be larger. It needs to be at least, let's say it needs to be at least 3 inches taller than this hole all the way around. You need to have a bigger piece of paper. So this is just a piece of, I think it's 18 inches wide. This is just auto body paper. Just going to rest it over the hole here. Find my marker, hopefully. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. I'm just going to transfer this shape to this side of the paper. Helps if you've got magnets. You can go to like Harbor Freight and get you some magnets. Makes this a lot easier. I ain't got no magnets. So we gotta do it the hard way. I do got magnets, I just ain't got time to go look for them. I'm just going to do it like this. I can see the line. I use my finger, press on it real hard. Or you can go on the back side and trace it. Now I can see it. Y'all can see that's the size of our opening. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to come in here. We're going to measure the distance between this back edge and this front edge. And you gotta remember, this is about maybe 18 gauge metal. So you gotta count for the thickness of that. So we're not gonna go all the way to the edge. We're gonna come over just a hair. So it is 1 3/4 inches. So we gotta make a box 1 3/4 inches. What that means is, we gotta go all the way around this 1 3/4 inches. One 1 3/4 inches. 1 3/4 inches. All right, fellas. I'm going to attempt to do this. Everything I do, I try to do in such a way that y'all can replicate it the exact same way at your house with just basic tools. And I mean, this is stuff that we learned in kindergarten, right? So let's set that up there, and we traced our opening, right? And then we made the 1 3/4 inches. We drawed us some marks. And all I done was I took a straight edge and I went, I just dot to dot. I made a straight edge. Same way with the back ones, made a straight edge. Same way with the bottom ones, just made a straight edge all the way around it. And then all you do is, after you make your straight edges and you cut it off the top and the back, all you do is you just fold it up. So you fold it over before I'd cut it. So I just folded the whole thing over. And I made my folds so that I could see them. Folded that one over. And folded this one over. And then you knew exactly where all your little lines and your folds was. Well, in between those folds, you've got radiuses. You've got these rounded edges right here. See that? So all I done was 1 3/4 inches. That's 1 3/4 inches wide. I just snipped it up to this back edge right here. I just cut the paper. Not to this front side of the curve, but the back side. Straight up, and then straight up. Then all you do is, you just cut that radius out. You see that? I'm hoping I'm making it so that y'all can understand. You cut the radius part out of the paper. The reason why you do that is so that when you fold this over like this, and then you fold this over, you can actually curve this and tape it into that radius. It's going to be hard for me to do on camera with the wind's blowing daggone 50 miles an hour. But you get the idea. See? I can fold it over and tape it, and then I've got my box. So I'm going to tape it all up, then I'm going to verify that it fits. So we have our box. Y'all see this? And it's cut in such a way that when we take the tape back off, lay it on metal, we can transfer this template to metal. That is, if it fits. And the good thing is we can use this exact same pattern for the other side. We'll just flip it around. Ah, the stupid wind. Show y'all what this looks like on the inside. Just give you an idea real quick. Oh, let me get in here. So that's our box we just made with our paper. And if you look, you'll see that the edge of this is going to come straight up and in line with the edge of that roof right there. So when we get our piece of steel on here, it's going to weld to this and go right up against that, and it'll have our little edge for our pinch weld. We're going to come straight up to here, and then we're going to have our pinch welded edge, and it's going to come right down into here, and it'll be welded to this, welded back there, welded back there. All this will be triangulated. This thing will be stronger than a real fastback when we're done. Alright, fellas. So I got my pattern stretched back out. And I'm just going to do this the way I've always done it. Oh! We'll hold it down rattle, can it? Ladies, if you want pretty fingernails, just paint your fingers with go get you some Rust-Oleum and just help your man out in the shop. Okay. All right, there it is. Can't hardly see it. Bring you over here. It's kind of crudely cut out because I had to use a plasma cutter, but I'm out of cutoff wheels. Y'all could probably do this a lot nicer than me with cutoff wheels. This is my little curves. So now I'm going to put this in the brake and I'm going to bend it up. If you don't have a brake, all you got to do is just clamp this on either side and then use a flat straight surface and just hammer it over. Works the same way. I'm going to go clean up my edges and bend this around and show y'all what I'm talking about. This is our little box thing that I've made. I just went over to Dad's and bent it up on the brake. Like I said, you can do the same thing. Just bend it over on a straight edge. The idea is, see how this is curved. This is curved. This is curved and that's curved. The idea is to bend these two over, the metal over, and then stitch up the seam. At least that's the idea. It might not work out that way. It's definitely not going to work out that way on this one because I got a little too cut happy with the plasma cutter and I cut off too much material. This one might close up and the rest of them might close up. That one's not. Not too happy. Yeah. It might accidentally close up. You don't see that? Push it together and close it up. At least that's the idea. If it don't, we can always go in there and put this little strap in there later. I know that one's not going to close up. This one might. Yeah, I got a little too happy with the plasma cutter. It happens. See that? Where y'all at? That one might close up. Tack it together, I don't know. I should have cleaned the metal up before I bent it. I have to put it in my cabinet blaster and clean it up. I'm going to go ahead and try to open it up some. I think I might have bent it in too far. So I was just looking at it, it looks like it might be too skinny. I don't know, let's try it. Gonna work. It's gonna work. Corner keeps popping out for some reason. I need some vice grips or something to. I don't really know how I'm gonna clamp it. All right, we got one screw in it. Thank you, Lord. Screw any good? Nope. This one looks decent. That's amazing. That actually fits really good somehow. Don't ask me how. Wish I could get a screw in it like right here. If I had some fresh screws, I probably could. Hey, man, this is working. This is insane. This is working this good. That is too cool. Fellas, I have not done one of these. The last time I done one of these, I only had one kid. And he was a fresh baby. I've got 3 kids now and Wesley's almost 16 years old. That's how long it's been since the last time I attempted to make one of these pockets. Alright, fellas and fillettes. Oh, try to get in here. I've gotten to the point to where I got to take this out. And I say that because I'm building this car. Look where I painted my fingers. I'm building this car so that person that wants to build a fastback and use real fastback interior, they can see how to do it. And I want to do it so that the person that don't want to put fastback interior in it can still use the coupe back seat. But I'm to the point to where I've got to build the inner structure. But I'm going to build it as if I was not going to use the coupe back seat in this package tray area. I'm going to build it in the way to where I tie it in down here at this panel here, and then I carry it all the way up to the front. And then all I'm going to do is just put this back in place, and then you can just weld the package tray to that metal and then back along your wheel tubs. But before I can go that far, I've got to get this out of the way. So you see what I've done? I took a piece of tape, I lined it up with this edge here, and I just carried it straight back until it lines up with this edge here. The reason why you want to go ahead and mark this now is because it's going to make it harder on you to cut that out and get it to fit correctly later. This gives you an idea of where you need to cut it in order to get this to come back in its right location. So go ahead and tape it, mark it, whatever you got to do. And then when you get this out, cut the sides off of it. Build your structure, build your piece of metal in here, and then this will go right back into place. Same thing on this side. Took a piece of tape, that box I made, laid it right up against it, straight back to this panel. See? And that's going to give me an idea of where to cut it, so that I'm not having to, cut it, put it in, cut it, just keep having to take it in and out to try to get it right. That'll give us an idea just right off the bat of where it needs to be. So I'm fixing to get this thing out of the way. Alright, so I've took the package tray out, the divider, whatever you want to call it. But if you're going to be using the coupe back seat in your car, you got to put that back in. I'm just taking it out temporarily to make my side structures just for y'all. But actually, I'm not using this because this car is going to be getting a fastback fold down rear seat and all the fastback interior panels. But if you're not wanting to use the fastback seat, you have to put this back in. So don't really screw it up. I cut it out with a plasma cutter because I know I'm not going to be reusing it. But y'all need to take care with it and take the welds out. There are spot welds around the border right here. Take those spot welds out, and then you can actually just take a Sawzall across the top and cut it and take it out that way. And then you just put it right back in place where the original spot welds was. Simple as falling out of a tree, fellas. Alright, so now you can see that all this is opened up now. There's no package tray in here anymore. And I just roughly cut it out with the plasma cutter because I'm actually not in... That's a wild looking lug nut. A little short head on this thing. I bet it broke off. But anyway, I'm not going to be using the package tray, but I just want to show y'all how to build this and still use the package tray. I know I've said that like a dozen times. I needed to shut up. But anyway, so we've gotten to this point. That's the box I made last night. It will be getting the hose cut in it, and it will be getting the hose drilled in it to bolt the side louvers up. Now we have to make this entire side structure. That's the reason why I had to take the package tray out, because I got to be able to make this structure, and then we'll put it back in just to show you guys that you can still use your coupe back seat. Alright guys, I've had a lot of y'all ask me about templates. Y'all are asking me all the time if I can send you a template so that you can make your own inner structure, like on the 67 Mustangs. Make your own inner panel, when really you don't need me. Oh, climb in here. You don't need me to make that pattern. If you got a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard, you can do it yourself. I don't mind the help, but I mean, we all went to kindergarten, first grade. We learned how to cut out shapes, and we all learned how to do, like, cut out snowflakes and stuff. We all learned how to use scissors, right? That reminds me, I didn't bring no scissors with me, of course. But I got a razor blade. So what I want to do is, I want to go from back there all the way to up here, and I actually want to overlap. I want to come past this about at least an inch, just to be safe, because I'm eventually going to trim that back. But anyway, and I don't have my roof brace in here yet because CJ Pony dropped the ball and didn't send it to me. I ordered it with all this stuff, and I went to hunt for it, couldn't find it. Well, then I looked on my my order on the website, and it says a 0 next to it. In other words, they haven't billed me for it yet because they claim they don't have it. So we're just going to pretend like there's a roof brace there. What I normally do is I just kind of lay it up there and get an idea of what I'm doing. And then I just start taking a little bit out each time. Up here at the very top, you want to allow at least a ½ inch, because that's going to be what welds to your window lip here. Allow a ½ inch to bend over. So we're just going to go ahead and just draw us a ½ inch line right here. Just a line all the way down. We know that's our lip. And I'm just going to go ahead and we'll notch this so it'll fit up here. All we're doing right now is making us a pattern. And I'm just going to take it and bring it straight down to this point. And just try to get the biggest part of this out of the way. I hope y'all can hear me because my mics, it won't charge. They completely quit charging. I had them lay on top of my welder, and I was welding something, and I don't know. I guess the welder fried it somehow. I don't know. They quit working. They'll still light up. They won't charge. So y'all get an idea of what I'm doing. I still got to trim the top part. I'm going to go get a new razor blade and trim that because I really want this line to be perfectly straight. I don't want no crooked line. So let me get out of here. So this right here, it's why it's good to save your roof skin. All the panels that I need to convert this car, like on the inside stuff, it's right here. I cheated. I used my plasma cutter. Normally I use my air chisel and just cut everything out with the air chisel. You can use a cutoff wheel. I try not to use the cutoff wheel as much as I can because I just don't like them things. I've been hurt pretty bad with one of them things before, and I just don't care too much for them. So, well, I came over to Dad's to use my shear, and my shear has turned into the paint mixing station. Look at this. Lord have mercy. I had to get all that off just to be able to use my shear. It's pitiful. Alright, so to make those little channels that go right here, See, that has a 1/2 inch lip on it. So what we got to do is cut you a piece of metal about 15 inches long, 14 or 15, either one will work. 2 inches wide, come over about a 1/2 inch, mark it, 1/2 inch, put it up in a break, or you can actually just lay it on something and then just hammer the edge over. Use vice grips, whatever you got to do. You don't have to use a brake. I just use it because it's handy. But let me set this stuff up here that way. Yeah, you can use a brake. Bend it into a 90. Until it looks like this. Alright, so we've bent up a piece of metal over at Dad's. It's going to go right here. And then it's going to get plug welded to our panel right there. See? But we got to put our bend in it. Because right now it's just straight. We've got to put our bend in it. I use a shrinker stretcher, but before I had a shrinker and a stretcher, I'll just be using a shrinker on this. But before I had those tools, I just cut little slits in this. Then I'd bend it over to the right shape. Then I'd just weld up the slits and grind it down. You can do the same. If it's going to be laying in the car this way, I need to be bending it this way. And you don't want to take too much at a time. Bend it. If you've got one of these, bend it. Keep going back and forth and checking it. Or just cut your slits in, like I was saying. Don't take a lot to bend it. I see we've already got quite a bit of a bend in it. Got a long ways to go though. I'm gonna go check it. Got quite a bit of a bend in it now. I gotta get that piece of headliner off of there. But this will go in under this panel like this. And then push all the way up. You see that? That's the way it's gonna look. It's gonna have a nice channel just like a real fastback. And it's just gonna carry on from this. Well, can't see it now. What happened? From this edge, it'll just keep carrying on to our new edge that we made. We'll actually have to go in here and trim this off down here at the bottom. A lot of times I'll actually take and once I cut it, I'll actually take and put me a little notch right here. Just cut out this little corner. Just so that it lays over this little edge here, because it ain't supposed to be over that far. It's actually supposed to be, let me get my tape measure. So from here to here, yep, we're good right there. So you see how I put that little notch in it? What I done was I just laid it up in place where it goes. And then I marked it where it would be coming in contact with the top of this, so that it would be able to lay on top of that, like that. See? That's all I done. And there's my other little notch I put in it. And you can see now it's got just a slight little bend in it. That's what we want. And that matches the contour of our drip rail. See how it lays there nice and flat against it? So as you can see, it's got an edge bend on it. 1/2 inch lip. I got some vice grips. They got like a, I don't know what they're called. They got like a 3 or 4 inch wide. The flat, you know, that clamping force is like 3 inches wide. And I just clamp it on it and bend it over. Clamp it on it, bend it over until I got that 1/2 inch edge all the way down. Because if you remember when I originally marked it, I marked it up here with a black marker up here. And that showed me exactly where my line was on that cardboard. So that showed me where I need to put it here. Also, whenever I rough cut the metal out, I stuck it up there And then I marked it with the marker. And that's actually how I knew where to bend it. But as far as this big cut right here goes, I just kept taking just a little bit off at a time until I found this top edge right here. And then I wanted it to lay flat somewhere. I wanted this panel to lay on this panel somewhere flat. And the only flat spot that it still made contact was back here. Gotta get that tar off. That's to hold that water paper. So I get all this off. Then I can weld it across the top, down this edge, across the wheel well, inner wheel housing, up this rear support, and then across my quarter panel, across my rear roof brace, and then here, and then here. This thing will be in here, it won't go anywhere. Let's try this thing. I painted it silver, hoping maybe it would match the other silver parts, but it didn't. I was kind of hoping to show it better on camera too. I've had it in here once before, but chances are getting it back in here is probably going to be a difficult situation. I did put me a line-up hole right here though. Last time, I put me a screw in it right here, so if I can just get this screw hose line back up, we'll be in business. Awesome. If I had my hammer, I would hammer this up. I don't know where my hammer's at. So y'all kind of see the way this is going. Make sure you install your rear roof brace before you put this panel on. Because when you install this, clamp it in place, lay this panel over the rear roof brace, then you can weld it to it while you're welding all this to this. But yeah, so this panel lays on top right here. And then right in here is when it starts to overlap and lay on the outside edge of it. So you can weld this solid, weld this, but don't actually weld it solid. Like tack it, stop, tack it, stop, tack it, stop. Because you don't want to warp this. You don't want this to be tin cannon in and out. Right now it's kind of got a curve in it. Actually, I bent it, put a little bit of a curve in it. So it's got a curve in it this way. And then once you weld it, that curve will stay in it. That'll just make it stronger. So you can weld it along the wheel housing, weld it along here, plug weld it here, weld it to your roof brace, weld it to your old roof structure right here. Plug weld it to your channel that you just made in here. Then weld it along in here. And then actually come in here and drill some holes right here. And weld it to our box that we made on that first night. You know, your box that's inside your quarter. Plug weld it to that, and man, this thing is strong. It won't go nowhere. Then you got to come back in here and drill your holes to bolt your louvers to. And if you're just going for just the look, you're not actually going for functionality, bolt the louvers to it, and then cut the studs off on the back side. So all there is on this side is just the nuts. They'll just stick out about, they won't stick out far. They'll still be sticking out less than 1/4 of an inch. And by the time you make an interior panel and cover it with a material like carpet or some kind of vinyl and put it on here, those nuts will be hid in under that panel that you make. But right now we're to the point to where this is where you make your decision. Do you want to put the package tray back in it and put the coupe back seat in it, and then make you some kind of real pretty package tray with speakers in it, some kind of pretty material or carpet? You can go that route. Or you can buy all the fastback quarter interior panels and just loosely just set them in place, and then start building brackets out of just plain old metal. Build you some brackets, some standoff brackets, to actually mount all your plastic panels to. Okay, far as the drains, since we don't have real fastback inner structure and we don't have those big troughs, what we're going to do is, on our box that we made, see how I kind of left this big gap right here? That was actually an accident. I was intending on this to be closed up and just weld the seam up. Do better than I did. Make sure all this is closed up and welded up and all this is sealed real good. Come in here and drill you a hole right here. Find you like a tube, like a, say, like a 1/2 inch tube, or like a 5/8 tube, like a steel pipe. Put you a drain right here in this corner. Right here in this lower corner. Weld you in a drain, like a little old piece of pipe. Weld it in here, make sure it don't leak, like around the sides of it, so that water can go down through that tube. Get you a piece of like 5/8 or 3/4 radiator hose, you know, heater hose, like you go in your car, like go to your heater core, and then run it down to that hole that's in the rocker right here. Let me show you the hole. You see that hole right there? That's the factory hole that fastbacks use. The hose will come down from the trough and then go right into that hole right there. I'm going to go show y'all what a real trough looks like. So these are the big holes I'm talking about that you're going to have to cut out in that box if you want your louvers to be functional so the air can go through them. But this is the trough. This is that big goofy thing that's supposed to catch water. See, there's no, they didn't put no drain up there in these corners. So they got these big old slots right here. Water goes through these slots, comes down in this trough, catches right here, goes down through that hole, out through a hose, and into the rocker. But you see how it's got all these bounding brackets? So it's got this bracket right here, this bracket right here, this bracket right here. Guys, it's simple. Just, if you want your louvers to be functional, if you want all this to be functional, and you want to bolt in your little slides, you're going to have to build standoffs, like little brackets like this, to weld to that inner panel that I just made. Come over it up, drill you some hose, put your panel in place, drill your hose and mount it to it. It's simple. So there's one of the fresh air, the vents, the slides that opens and closes. You see what it does? Opens and closes. This one's in pretty bad shape, actually. I do not have a driver's side one, or I would kind of show you against the car that we're working on. I don't have the passenger side done yet. So. But this, see these little standoffs, these little brackets? So that's what this bolts to. It'll set up there just like this right here. And then your interior panels will go over that. Alright, for all the people that wants to do this right here, have the louvers with the non-functional sides, but want to run a coupe back seat and just put like some type of package tray back here with like some carpet or vinyl, put some speakers back here. Do it the easy, cheap, budget-friendly way. Just stick your package tray back in it. I hope you cut yours out cleaner than I did, because I just butchered this one with a plasma cutter because I'm not going to use it. But if you remember, I said put the tape on it before you take it out of the car. See that angle? Make sure you cut your angle a lot cleaner than I did mine. I did mine with a plasma cutter. If you cut that angle in it, it should go right back in place, even though we have those sides on it now. Watch it not go back in there. Oh yeah, like butter. See that? See how it's right up against our panel that we made? After we do all that welding, stick our package tray back in place, weld our package tray to that, and then back along the front edge, we put our coupe back seat back in here. Take you a piece of panel board, cut you out a great old big panel to go right here. You do need to build something though, like weld something from here to here. just to hold that board up. But take you a piece of panel board, cut out the shape, carpet it, cut out your speaker hose. Shoot, it looks good back here, trust me. Oh, as far as using the coupe, as far as using like a coupe, the interior panels that used to be in there, you can still use them. You just have to cut the sides off of them where they used to overlap and have the fuzzies on it. Cut the sides off, kind of back at an angle, stick them back in the car and reuse them. On the from here to here, make you a panel to go right there out of like a panel board, like you'd use on like door panels or something. Cover it in whatever material you want to cover it in. And then just use some real pretty interior screws and just screw it right to that panel right there. And then all the back of this car will be completed. You'll have your coupe back seat. You'll have your original coupe interior panels right there. You'll have some type of board and material along the top up there, across the back. You can put your speakers back here. The whole back of your fastback is done. You can do all this relatively cheap. Y'all see what I done? Now you see that this little drip rail edge, this little rain gutter thing, now it flows with each other. And it's the same height right here now. This flows right into this. It's all the same height now. See how I put a slit in it? I cut it all the way back to right in here. A little more than halfway from here to there. Then all I done was stuck this in behind this one. And then just raised it up, clamped it, put a screw in it. Now all I gotta do is clean the paint and stuff off and just go in here and just tack weld this back up and grind it off smooth. If you weld it nice enough, you can grind it off and not have to do no body work. But if you make some booker welds in here, you're gonna have to go in here and do some body work. But you see, we got a big missing spot right here, no metal. So just go in there with a little piece of metal. Shoot. That's so easy. I mean, you just take your piece of cardboard, lay underneath it, draw you out a pattern, cut it out of metal, and just weld it right in there. Simple as falling out of a tree, fellers. Do a little grinding, be good to go. This area, I've now showed y'all how to do the trunk, what'd you call that? It'd be a trunk gutter, wouldn't it? Yeah. So I've showed y'all how to do the trunk gutter. I have showed y'all how to build this box. I've shown y'all how to make sure that this fits nice and flush. Make sure all these lines up here and here. I have showed y'all how to make this little channel piece right here. We've made the inner panel, which is nothing more than y'all just make you a pattern and then just cut it out of metal and then just keep whittling. Just keep whittling away at it till you get to where it fits like that. I wish I hadn't done that little boo-boo. The next one, I'll do this side. It won't be like that. Clamp it in place and weld it, guys. If you're going with fastback interior and a fastback seat, you're pretty much to the point where you can start welding your fastback brackets in here and mounting panels. There's really not a whole lot more that I can show y'all, I don't think. So I'm going to get y'all some measurements real quick, and then we're going to call this video good, because I'm not going to show y'all how to weld your car together. I mean, you just weld it up, guys. So I'm going to stick the tape measure right up in here, right up against the filler panel. So from here to the end of the quarter, 14 1/4. 14 1/4. If you're using full quarters and you want to know what your trunk gap is supposed to be, so go to the end of your quarter panel. On a 65, it's a little different than 67 1/8. So at the end, back here at the back, 52 3/4. That's the trunk opening. Now look at the front. On a 65, it gets wider. It's going to be like 53 1/4. Let me try it and check it. 53 1/4 up here at the front. So 53 1/4, 52 3/4, 14 1/4 from here to here. That's your trunk opening. your rear glass opening. So, go to the center, put your tape measure in this valley, measure to this top edge, 34 inches. Got 34 inches. So from this corner to this corner, let's get a measurement. And it should be 48 and a half, I think. Let's see here. 48 and a half. Down here at the bottom, where the quarter meets the filler panel, put your tape measure right there on that top edge. Measure across. It should be 47. This inside top edge to this inside top edge is 47. Now, it's too hard to X out one of these tops. So if you want to try to X it out, go from this corner to the corner right here on your filler panel. That's the only way I know to do it. And it should be around 54 and a quarter. So we go in that valley right there to this corner. We got 54 and a quarter to this little hump right here. And then to this little hump right here on your filler panel, we've got 54 and a quarter exactly. Our hole is exactly square. All right, next measurement. Okay. Let me make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. All right, guys. So this measurement right here, we're going to do it real quick. It's a little bit different than a 67 and 8. So, right here in this bin, right here, from the top of the rocker, right here on this pinch wheel, should be about 33. We got exactly 33. Go back here to the back, right here. You see where this line is, where this B-pillar, this doorpost welds to the top of the rocker. All right, go straight back on this lip on the rocker. Straight up, it should be 32 and a half. We're exactly 32 and a half. On the back side of the tape measure, not the front side. 32 and a half. If you get to this point, you've pretty much got it, guys. Pretty much got it. I don't think there's anything else that I can show y'all. I mean, it's simple. Bolt your hinges up. I mean, that's just simple as falling out of a tree. Just bolt these to this. Bolt your deck lid up. Pretty simple, guys. I think that's it. I hope that y'all can get your car fastbacked and on the road with this video right here. I could go in there and mock up all the interior panels, but in reality, no two cars is the same. You got to just get your interior panels, like if you're going to go fastback interior, just get your panels, mock them up in place, and build your own little brackets to hold them in place. As far as the back seat brackets and like the fold down stuff goes, you can buy bracket kits online. I always just make my own brackets because I only ever used just the brackets that weld to the wheel. The one bracket on the 65 that'll weld to the wheel housing, and then you'll have two brackets that weld to the transition that your fold down back seat will bolt to. There'll be two little brackets back there at the back. That's your it's like a panel that lays in the back right under your trap door. There'll be two brackets under that. And then you'll have two long brackets on each side that your rear interior panels will bolt to down there at the bottom. And you'll have two kind of like hook brackets that weld to the transition that the seat, the rear bottom seat, will kind of hook up in. You can make all that stuff. There's no point in buying it when you can make it. But if you don't want to make it, you can get on like CJ Pony or Kentucky Mustang and you can buy their bracket kit. But that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, please go out and share this video with all your buddies. If you got any car guys in your family and they're interested in anything like this, just share the video. I mean, it's even if they're not building a fastback, it's still cool to watch, right? To take something, a $250 shell like that, and drag it home, cut it up, and turn it to a fastback. I mean, what's cooler than that? So please like and share the video. Please subscribe, and look forward to the next video. I think on the next video I might do a cowl replacement on this car, because this car needs a cowl. So we might do a video on that. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how this video does, and if this video does good, we'll do a video on installing a cowl on that car. And I've got to get some hinges for the doors. That's the reason why we ain't got no doors on this car. We got to have hinges. So as soon as I get my hinges, I'm going to bolt some doors on. I'm not going to weld nothing until I get those doors bolted on that car. I suggest y'all to do the same. Till next time, guys, please like, share, subscribe, and catch you on the next one.